Good evening and welcome to the hour dedicated to talking about all things strange, weird, and paranormal. You are listening to Strange Talk, broadcasting on 1660 AM in Northside and 91.7 FM HD2 WVXU in Cincinnati. We're also streaming at radioartifact.com around the entire planet Earth. We have a super special episode today. I'm Alex, your host
Robin.
is normal, and this is Robin. We're just really excited. Also, the intro is from our dear friend, Starsill. But today, we're here to have on the show Barry Enderwick from Sandwiches of History. And, he does so much different sandwiches, chips. It's truly just perfect. In the chips with Barry, Barry is cooking again, craft beer Barry ice cream o'clock. He makes and tries all kinds of things. So we're going to be talking to him about sandwiches and weird sandwich history.
Yes, we are so grateful that Barry decided to accept our invitation to come on the show.
And he is genuinely so nice. The whole reason this started was I was just reposting some of his videos on Instagram, and he was like, "Thanks for sharing." And he said that like every time I shared one of his videos, and I was like, "Hey, if you want to come on the show, you are entirely welcome to." And he was like, "Absolutely." So that's just so cool, and he's so nice and just such a pleasant person.
So if you wouldn't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into making sandwiches on the internet, and what led you to this amazing and very entertaining and informative journey.
Oh, dumb luck. Basically, I've been fascinated with cooking and eating and exploring flavors since my early 20s. My significant other and her family were really into cooking, and before that, I had limited to no exposure to, different flavors and cooking and things like that. So, got really into it. I've been cooking my entire life. I love sandwiches because I love the portability of them and the possibility of them, because you can put anything between two pieces of bread, and even the bread can be good. So, a friend of mine sent me a PDF for the up-to-date sandwich book of 1909. And he said, "This would be pretty fun to do on social media." And I'm like, "It would." And so I did. And it started off on Instagram. It didn't really go very well because I didn't format it very well. And I was doing videos of making the sandwiches in the stories, but posting pictures. And then TikTok, it sat up, I let it kind of founder for about 9 months. I didn't really post anything new or do anything because it really didn't get any traction. And then TikTok came along. I thought, well, what if I take the making of videos and put them on TikTok? And it just exploded. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to make new ones of these now. And I, well, wait a second. What if I do this on Instagram instead of what I did before? And I did, and it took off.
Yeah.
And I'm also on Facebook and YouTube, although much smaller footprints on both. But YouTube just took off last week after some young influencer took notice and told his 2 million followers about me.
Oh my gosh. It's always funny how that stuff happens where just, the right person mentioning something just makes it go completely viral.
Well, it's interesting too, because with a lot of the younger TikTok stars, there is a huge amount of influencers who are doing other types of watch me cook this on TikTok or watch me cook this on Instagram. So it's like a very popular thing with younger millennials and Gen Z. So that's awesome. I'm not surprised that they got clued into what you're doing with it.
Yeah, especially YouTube. There's so many big cooking people on YouTube. I watch a lot of that. It's really soothing, one, to learn recipes, and two, it's really soothing to fall asleep to. So
I'm guessing by this point you've probably completed the first cookbook.
Yeah, about that. So what happened was, my friend who sent me the initial cookbook and myself would kind of dig around the Internet Archive, and we started finding more and more cookbooks. And right now I probably have at my disposal, between the Internet Archive, stuff that people have been generous enough to send to me, and some physical books that I inherited from a neighbor, probably access to at least 50 to 60 cookbooks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So I didn't go sequentially through the first one. What I do is I bounce around. I try to kind of mix it up throughout the week so that I'm not in any one particular book or one particular era day to day. So to try and keep it a little interesting for both me and everyone who's watching.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I feel like that if you only ate sandwiches from a certain year, that you'd probably not be the most enjoyable thing, maybe.
No.
Some years would have more interesting sandwiches than others.
What's the oldest cookbook that you have referenced thus far, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, okay, so the oldest cookbook that I have access to is 1777.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember the name of it, but it had exactly one sandwich in it. It's back when all lowercase s's were f's.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And it only had one sandwich recipe in it. It was called sandwich, beef between bread.
That's amazing.
So that goes back to the alleged early Earl of Sandwich and his 2 slices of beef between bread.
Yeah, it's the cookbook is about 20 years or so after that supposed event. But I mean, Earl of Sandwich did a great job of branding, but there's no way he invented sandwiches. Like, if you think about history, it's just there's no way he was the first person to ask for someone to put bread.
No, I believe that there's a written reference, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, but there was a Chinese type that type of Chinese sandwich.
Yeah, I've done that one. It's the Raja. I'm going to say it wrong, and I apologize. Ruja Mo, and it's from China, and it was developed kind of along the Silk Road. And the one that I did this recently, or not recently, but last year. I made it, and I made the version with beef, and it was fantastic.
That does sound really
it's
good.
200 BC.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's fascinating. How would you rate that compared to all of the sandwiches that you've done thus far in terms of, like, obviously you can't just pick one as like this is my favorite, but
or you can if you do have a favorite.
I mean, yeah, you could, but I feel like that there's so many variations and things. Just that level of ancient culinary taste compared to something more modern. What do you prefer?
You're right. I can't. People ask me all the time, "What's your favorite sandwich? What's your favorite sandwich?" And, it depends on, like, is it cold?
Yes.
How hungry am I? How much time do I have? Like, there's so many different factors that go into what sandwich I want to have right now. I would say that 200 BC one. I obviously have no way to cross-check and make sure that the recipe I followed was exactly what they did in 200 BC.
Yeah, a bit difficult.
But it was delicious, and it was complex in its seasonings, and its spices. So it's up there. It is one of my favorite things I've made, along with the pain d'agnac from France.
Yes.
And just recently I redid the Moist Maker, which is a fictional sandwich, but it's so good, from the Friends TV show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's interesting. What about least favorite sandwiches? Because I feel like you're obviously very committed to trying all sorts of different types. I remember reading about you tried some oyster sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I had to respect your stomach for some of those.
Yeah. No, the oyster sandwich from the Up to Date Sandwich Book of 1909, and the similarly constructed Japanese. They call it the Japanese sandwich from 101 Sandwiches in 1901. But the one from 1909 was chopped up raw oysters, Worcestershire sauce, olive oil, buttered bread, and it was just a slimy mess. And I like raw oysters, but that was just a slimy mess. That was terrible.
I feel like raw oysters is almost worse on a sandwich because then they're just sliding off of it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's like, okay, give me raw oysters with some lemon juice or some Crystal hot sauce or some mignonette or whatever. Yes. Chop them up and put them with olive oil. It's like, oh, hang on.
Yeah, I feel like that just runs the profile. It runs the profile of oysters in general to just do that. Like, it's like, why would you do this?
Right, exactly. Another bad one, and I forget what recipe book it was from. It's called the Bran Sandwich, and it was as exciting and dynamic as that name sounds.
Okay, all right. What goes into the Bran Sandwich? I'm intrigued now.
Let me see. I can look it up here. Let me see. I happen to be in front of my computer, and I'll go to my YouTube channel here. Yeah. That's the easiest way to look it up.
Which also, if anybody needs to look up your YouTube channel, it's Sandwiches of History.
Right. Exactly. Thank you.
You do chips as well, ice cream on separate channels.
Yeah. I've been actually the chip review channel I've been doing for over 5 years now. I've been doing that for a while.
Yeah, because you started with the chips, right?
What's that?
You started out doing the chips first and then moved on to sandwiches, right?
That's correct. Well, I'm still doing the chips.
Well, yes.
Brand. Okay, hang on a sec. Brand sandwich, 1936, 1001 sandwiches.
Wow.
That's wow.
And you know, like, if the book is named 1001 Sandwiches, there's bound to be some terrible ones in it.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay, let's see. Oh yes. Oh, this. Thanks for making me relive this. Okay.
I was gonna say I can feel it.
An egg, salt, condensed milk, and then you whisk it all together and fry it in butter.
Oh
no.
And it was basically like, wet cardboard between bread and, let's see, not buttered bread for a change.
We did a kickoff before our last episode where we tried some seltzers, and one of them was a trick flavor that was frogman flavored, and it tasted like bog, and that's kind of what I'm picturing right now.
Yeah, this was basically, you know how when you get something and it's shipped from the factory in China and you unpack it, and there's all this cardboard in there to keep it safe.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's what this tasted like.
Oh gosh.
That's visceral, and it would have been probably a little bit damp too. So that,
yes.
Was it one of those two where like the smell, you can taste it already when you smell it?
Thankfully, it didn't smell bad because there wasn't a whole lot of aromatics in it. I mean, it was an egg, condensed milk, bran, salt. I think it was like, ugh.
Yeah, the idea of pouring salt into sandwich ingredients, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I love my salty foods. I love fried foods, but that's just, I don't know. There's something that's just viscerally unappetizing about that, and I'm a very picky eater, so I'm just sitting here and I'm like, oh man.
Oyster sandwiches.
I'm totally the opposite. I'm so willing to try anything, even like someone will walk up to me and be like, "Hey, you want to try this really gross thing?" And I'm like, "Yes," because I need to know how gross it is. Which is don't do that.
I'm impressed. I'm not that. I'm somewhere in between, I think.
I mean, yeah. For me, it's just like if it's something that's like really one of those once in a lifetime things. Like, yeah, this is going to be terrible, but it's worth trying. Like when I was in Atlanta, we went to the Coca-Cola Museum, and they had this Italian aperitif that it's apparently famous. They have a T-shirt of it. I bought it while I was at the museum. It's called the Beverly, and it was a 1960s aperitif soda that was really popular in Italy, but absolutely reviled all over the rest of the world. You can only get it now.
It's probably really bitter.
Oh yeah, I'm ashamed to say this, but I tried it, and then I had to walk away for a second because I ended up throwing up in my cup.
Actually,
because it was it was just a visceral reaction. My body was just like, no.
My partner, for his birthday last year, he's vegetarian, but decided that for his birthday we were all going to try fermented Greenland shark.
Oh, God.
Which, they have to ferment it, so that way it's not poisonous, for one. Mm-hmm. And we didn't properly unfreeze it at first, which was probably the better call because you couldn't smell it as much, but it smelled like ammonia and cat pee, and did not taste any better. I, put it on my tongue, and my brain immediately just spit it right back out. I didn't even get a chance.
Yeah,
it was
I was
bad.
gonna say, how drunk were you guys to do this?
Well, the first time varied. The second time, we tried again just to, see, and he actually threw up the second time. The first time he got it down okay, but that's the national food of Iceland,
yep.
And you do it with the Prenivin.
Yeah.
So we were doing it with the Prenivin to just do it the proper way, I guess. And oh god, it was horrible.
And it's interesting because along with the different time periods, and you have recipes from different locations. It kind of tells you the variance in people's taste through time and through location, which has got to be something that I'm sure now that you've done all these sandwiches from all over. That spectrum. Is there a particular time period that you feel like really got it right or got it really wrong?
Oh, I think every era has its right and its wrong sandwiches, and it's interesting because you look at say 101 sandwiches from 1901, and some of them are they're pretty bare bones. Put these two things together and put them between buttered bread there, and you got a sandwich. And you might be thinking like, well, in 1901 they were very complex, but then you can look at a cookbook from 1896, and they have these incredibly complex sandwiches. So it's kind of bizarre, but no one era. I would say that the early 1900s probably has the lock on trying different sandwich combinations that aren't popular today.
Yeah, a lot of Great Depression substitutions that probably aren't very much appreciated today.
Yeah, that was actually going to lead into my next question, which is, that range includes World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, and especially during World War II, there would have been a lot of substitutions for certain ingredients. I remember reading about, I think you used parsnips and banana extract for one of those?
Yeah, that was a British wartime sandwich. They apparently loved their banana sandwich over there, but during the war, of course, getting bananas imported was not exactly easy to do. And so they boiled parsnips, used banana essence and a little bit of sugar, and boom, and it really got close. It got close enough to a mashed banana that I would have been perfectly happy with it if we were in wartime Britain.
Yeah, we've actually been talking about trying that one because it does sound really good, actually.
Yeah, you should. It's interesting.
We're going to take a quick break here. The song you're about to listen to is Night of the Creeps by Karl Casey, who has provided us with this wonderful, wonderful music, which is free to use as long as you attribute to him. So I encourage you to check out his work, because it's definitely worth the time. Are there any other wartime recipes that used substitutions that you thought were pretty good, or is that probably the most memorable one?
That is easily the most memorable, and it's interesting because the Depression started in 1929, right?
Yep.
And then So 1001 Sandwiches comes out. It's 1936. It's still not over.
Right.
But here's a sandwich book, and it does have some bare bone sandwiches, but it also has a caviar sandwich in there, like a lobster sandwich, and some sandwiches that clearly would have cost a normal person way too much money.
Yeah.
So it's very strange to me that is the case. Even there's one from 1941, and there's some, pretty, I think would be kind of expensive for the era, recipes in there. So as far as like the substitutes, that example from England is pretty much the only one I've run across so far. I'm sure there's more out there though.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of that even depends on people's class at the time, because like you said, there's a lot of ingredients that there's just no way your average person will be able to afford that.
Yeah,
right. And there's this whole class of like what I call grandma sandwiches that people talk about, where like, my grandpa used to eat peanut butter and onions.
Yep.
Or peanut butter and mustard, and it's like, okay, that's where you start to see like I need to eat something. This is what we've got. We're putting it together, and they continue eating it because I'm guessing it's from memory association of like, this helped me get through tough times. But it's always fascinating to hear people say like, my grandfather ate it. It's totally weird.
Well, and it's interesting too, because sandwiches are one of the few dishes that you can see a very, very wide range of ingredients, ranging from absolute, poverty level to foods that are incredibly expensive, especially depending on the time period, and would have been out of the reach of everyday people. So,
right.
And you have ingredients that sometimes aren't commonly used.
Speaking of which, where do you fall on the sandwich purity levels? Like, would you count like a hot dog as a sandwich?
Oh, the hot dog is a sandwich. Well, I have two answers for this. One is very unsatisfying, and that is if you want it to be, because everything is made up.
That's kind of where I fall on it, honestly.
But I will say that I do have a less vague response, and that is, I do think it is a sandwich, and I think it comes down to intent.
Yes.
So if you look at the hot dog bun, it's thick on two sides, and the hinge is very thin.
Yes.
So the reason the hinge is there is to accommodate the tubular meat, if you will. And so therefore the intent is that it is a piece of meat between two pieces of bread. Whereas if you look at like a tortilla, pretty much uniform, acts more like a sling or a wrap.
Yeah. I really love starting those questions with people and just watching it devolve into pure madness, because I'm like, if you want it to be, cereal can be a soup. Why not? Why
exactly.
And you totally you answered my next question. I was going to ask you, okay, well, what about is a quesadilla? Is a quesadilla a sandwich? But I agree with you. It's the tortilla is different than other types of bread for sandwich making.
Right.
And I would consider you a sandwich expert, so I'm considering that the correct answer from now on.
Yeah, I will judge people by that answer, actually, because it is a great party answer now that the sandwich expert has delivered that. It's papal law now.
I have another fun question for you.
Okay.
If aliens were to descend on Earth, what sandwich would you send them from us to try to, be friends with them?
Oh man. Wow. That's because I'd be representing all of humanity.
Right, and you don't know what their taste palate's like.
I know.
So it's like, what would be like the best guess of like, this is our best chance to be like, here's a sandwich, we're friends now?
Wow, I don't know that there is a sandwich that could do that.
I guess we could also give them an array of sandwiches.
Oh, okay now. Well then, a banh mi, a grilled cheese.
Oh yeah.
A roast beef and blue cheese with arugula.
Ooh.
Some sort of fish sandwich probably. Oh, a Nashville hot, just in case I like spicy.
Yeah.
Nashville hot chicken.
Yep. All right.
What else? Oh, there's so much. You could send like a sandwich probably from every nation, I would imagine.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
and then be like, here's a sample of our food. Don't kill us.
Try all of them. Hopefully you have mouths.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know that, do we?
So among all of the interesting things that we cover on our radio show, I always like to ask guests, have you ever had any experiences, either while eating or making a sandwich or otherwise, that you would consider to be unexplainable, paranormal, your term of choice?
Mm-hmm. No, but I mean, like, I will say that every once in a while I'll have a sandwich or food experience, and the way I describe it is it's debilitatingly good.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, it just stops you, and you're not in ecstasy or anything, but you're just like, that's all you can think about is what you're eating, because it's so good.
Yeah.
And I actually did that. I had that recently with the sandwich called the tomato that I did. That was from Turkey and the Wolf in New Orleans.
Yeah, that one looks really good.
I didn't expect that to have that reaction to that, because it's, it's a tomato sandwich. It's got herbs. It's whatever. But it was just like, oh man, this is something.
You did an episode with the chips of Grippo's, which is actually from Cincinnati, which is where our radio station's based out of.
Okay.
So Grippo's are like super common here, so it's really fun. I always forget that they're regional.
Oh yeah.
I have a friend.
No, someone was kind enough to send me some, and I tried them, and they were delicious. I bought their barbecue seasoning.
They've
Yeah, their barbecue Grippos are really good. I got introduced to them for the first time actually by a coworker this year. I'd never heard of them before, and I have to admit they were a lot better than I expected.
And they make barbecue cheese nibs now, so if I can find some of those, I will send you some so you can try those as well, because they're like cheese curl Grippos, and they're amazing.
Nice.
Because we also have Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati, which is like an international market, so you can find almost anything you're looking for there, which is kind of awesome.
I've heard that. Someone told me about that place. If I'm ever fortunate enough to make it there to your city, I'm definitely going to stop by and check that out.
Yeah, it's a really awesome place, and the owner, I actually don't know his name. I just call him Actual Jungle Jim. He's super nice. He's so nice.
With all of the community that you have following you with your sandwiches and your chips, I'm sure that you must get introduced to a number of ideas for things to try. Have there been any of them that you felt were like particularly, I don't know, noteworthy, or that maybe set you on another path of investigation, or what is that type of interaction like? Because I mean, obviously, everybody can get behind sandwiches and food. Everybody has to eat, so it's kind of a universal experience.
Yeah, I mean, I have a full-time job in addition to all this stuff. But if this was my main gig, I'd probably start another channel called Sandwiches of Now, because there's so many different ideas out there for sandwiches that I'd like to try, but I just don't have time. I do make what I call sandwiches of art history, where someone will write in and say, my dad used to make this for me, and it's some combo that I've never had, or I haven't made it before on the show, so I go ahead and make it and tag them on it, which I really like doing that, because then I kind of get to explore sandwiches that aren't necessarily in cookbooks but are definitely being passed down.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I remember my grandfather, who he owned a farm in Indiana, and he would get up every morning, and at some point before lunchtime he would often have a version of a bacon and tomato sandwich, and I can't remember the recipe that he used now, unfortunately, but it would always seem like that the quality of the sandwich depended on the ingredients. Obviously, and with the tomatoes, he grew them himself, so it was always very fresh. Have you found that the quality of ingredients does that make a big difference in some of the way that some of the recipes might be produced when you're trying these?
Oh, absolutely, and I think tomato is a prime example of that. If I make a sandwich with tomato now, it's very different than when making one in summer. Even though I live in California and we have access to produce year round, it's still a different experience. They're not as juicy, they're not as sweet. The ingredients can make a huge difference. That's another interesting aspect to this for me is kind of like looking at the recipe and then kind of understanding or trying to figure out, all right, what was peanut butter like when this recipe was written.
Right.
Yes.
Because, peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter came out after smooth peanut butter, and then sweetened peanut butter didn't get introduced till 1955. So just trying to be mindful of that. I did a thing called the Eccles sandwich, which called for maraschino cherries, but it was written in 1901, and so I had to do kind of like a research project on what the history of maraschino cherries, and it turns out the version we have now didn't get developed until the 1920s.
Yeah, we've done a lot to modify our crops. I imagine things tasted like very different back then, just because we've genetically engineered them to be more hardy and survive better and or taste better than maybe just different than they used to.
And like bananas, like up until like the 50s, the Gros Michel banana was the dominant banana. And then a blight came along and basically made it non-viable as a cash crop.
Yep.
But they still grow them, so you can buy them from this company in Miami called Miami Fruit.
Oh, really?
And so I bought some because I wanted to, taste what it would taste like when I was making a sandwich from 1936. What it would taste like with the Gros Michel. Yeah. So.
Now I'm going to have to go get some of those bananas now because I also need to know.
I didn't know those were still actually something that were commercially available. That's neat.
Well, I mean, again, they're not a cash crop. It's a specialty thing, so they're kind of pricey.
Yeah.
But they still exist, which was surprising to me because I really thought it was extinct.
Yeah, so did I. That's I've had a number of people tell me that they were extinct. So that's awesome.
We're going to take another quick break here, and we'll get back to talking about sandwiches. You're about to listen to Cut the Wire by Relic.
Wire to wire.
So we also have some weird sandwich history here for you as well, which you might know some of this stuff. So the first one we have is there is this classic story that Mama from the Mamas and the Papas, that she died choking on a ham sandwich.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't think I've heard that's also
true.
Not actually true.
Yeah, it's not true. So I'm not entirely sure what actually did happen, but I guess back in 1974, there was a reporter for The Hollywood Reporter, Sue Cameron, and she called right after she heard that Mama had died, got Mama's manager on the phone, Alan Carr, and he was like hysterical and said, "You've got to tell them that she died choking on a ham sandwich. You must go to your typewriter and write that. There's a half of a ham sandwich on her nightstand." But apparently that's not true. They don't really say what actually did happen. But this reporter just said, "I didn't ask any questions. I didn't believe him, but I thought something was wrong, and I'm just going to do it anyway."
That's the problem with do-it-yourself investigations. All of a sudden it's like, yeah, now you're going to be remembered for dying choking on a ham sandwich. And it's funny because there's a similar story that is entirely apocryphal about the assassin who shot Archduke Ferdinand starting World War I.
Oh, yeah.
That he only was where he was because he had stopped to get a sandwich. And at that time, it is very unlikely that they would have been serving traditional, Anglo-spheric sandwiches in that area. But it's fascinating because the sandwich is such it's a universal thing, so that it easily gets added into stories and folklore, and history gets kind of reinterpreted sometimes through food. There's definitely this interesting connection between how we view food and the history that's happening at that same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that was considered. I guess whatever did happen was to protect her reputation. But I love that is they just went with that. They were like, "Sure, sounds great. Let's go with that. That sounds totally fine."
Exactly. It's like, okay.
Because I personally would not want to be remembered as choking to death on a ham sandwich.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair to blame an assassination and the death of a famous person on the sandwich. It's like that's not fair.
Mama Cass was a little bit bigger too, so it's also like, come on, really? You're gonna try and pin this on food?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt.
It was a very weird choice.
It felt dumb and mean-spirited.
Yeah. Yeah, and it never did. At least they never did say what it was that they were trying to protect her reputation from. So I do respect them at least for that, for sticking to their guns and not ruining her reputation.
Oh, I mean,
like now they say like they died of natural causes, or just like refused to, like no.
Yeah,
cause
I think they said a heart attack was what they officially ruled.
Oh, there you go. So what's so? I mean, I don't know why that's controversial.
Right.
Or why that would have been.
Should have just said, she died from a heart attack.
Yep.
Yeah, people are weird with things like that, and and it's interesting too because along with all the stories that are clearly not true, there are plenty of articles that have come out at least in the last 3 years about people who have engaged in violence actually over sandwich issues. Like I read one story involving a subway shooting where I believe the man came back because the person who was behind the counter put too much mayonnaise on his sandwich. And so it's like, what is going on there? It's just crazy.
Perceived slights, and for me, that sounds to me like basically what it comes down to is people don't feel like they have control in their lives, and then suddenly this one thing goes wrong, and they're just like, "That's it. This is where I'm standing my ground."
Because I don't think anybody is actually ever going to be that upset over mayonnaise.
I mean, I hate mayonnaise, but like not that much. We have one more story here.
I actually have two more.
Oh, two more. Okay.
So, John Montague was considered a man with a highly interesting lifestyle. He was the 4th Earl of Sandwich, and it is said that he was part of the Hellfire Club, which was that sort of secret society fraternity, where they did a lot of very sketchy things in the Hellfire Caves. So I think it's interesting that he apparently is linked to that, because also if you look at his picture, he kind of looks just like George Washington. So it's this guy in this curly wig, and just imagining him being like, I'm the Earl of Sandwich, and I'm part of the Hellfire Club.
Well, I mean, and
I know.
he was famous for being, if I remember correctly, he loved playing poker, and he was a very frequently playing cards. And I think that might have been actually part of the original inspiration for him requesting the beef on the bread, was because he was working at his desk, where he was doing something at his desk, whether he was playing cards or whether he was working on paperwork, because he had a number of other positions. He at one point was the First Lord of the Admiralty. The man was a complicated character, to be sure.
And what's even more interesting is he's considered one of the 12 original founders of the Hellfire Club.
Oh, wow.
There may be
I
some.
did not know this about the Hellfire Club. This is fascinating to me.
I found this on The Haunted Walk, and I love that the title of this article is "Sandwiches for Satan: The Story of the Hellfire Club."
Sandwiches for Satan. That's brilliant.
So yeah, I just thought that was fascinating that maybe there is a secret dark history to sandwiches.
Well, I always think it's funny because it's like the history of anything associated with someone who invents it is always tied ultimately to whatever interesting backstory that person has. Like, you know, it's unavoidable. I mean, there's a lot of people who are supposedly members of the Hellfire Club. Like, I think even Benjamin Franklin was supposed to have been a member at one point. It's interesting. Do you have any sandwich folklore or interesting traditional stories about sandwiches that you know are particularly interesting to you, or that you've come across?
You know, this is going to be surprising, but no, I don't. I don't have any. I have not come across any sandwich lore.
Sandwich lore. That's exactly what this. We're gonna title the episode that, maybe. Sandwich lore.
There you go.
Well, that's actually the funny thing is I was looking up any of this weird history on sandwiches. It kept coming up with your Atlas Obscura article, and I'm like, it's weird, but it's not like spooky weird, you know?
Right. Exactly. That Gastro Obscura book is pretty interesting. You guys might want to check that out.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I want to get a copy of that. And
that has some arcane stuff in it, which is pretty fascinating.
I love the idea of an arcane sandwich too.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would be a restaurant, actually, or like, you know,
the arcane sandwich.
Yeah, maybe like Salem or New Orleans.
Well, actually, so that leads into the next story. There was an entertaining ghost in Sandwich, Massachusetts. October 28th, 1886. There was a quiet village of Sandwich. And they it's still there, and apparently in 1886, they started being frequented by a ghost. The main victim, who was being troubled by the ghost, was John Murray. And...
Yeah, but he had it coming.
Yeah, you know. He probably did.
What I'm talking about.
This specifically says he was a hardworking man, so yeah, he definitely had it coming. But yeah, I guess it would just burst open his doors and... just kind of harass him. He wasn't allowed to sleep. I genuinely love that we still have so many towns named Sandwich.
I'm fascinated by that. Like, I posted a picture of a police car from the Sandwich community of Sandwich. I said, jokingly said, "What are you, the Sandwich Police?" and so many people wrote in and said, "Hey, there's a town here named Sandwich.
Yep.
There's a town here." There's probably 10 cities in America named Sandwich.
Yeah, it's surprisingly common. And there are cities named Sandwich, obviously, of course, in England also still. And
yeah.
So it's hilarious, especially. You think of sandwich, you think of the food, but originally it was the title, it was the family lordship. I believe at one point Hawaii was referred to as the Sandwich Islands.
Yes, I think so.
Which is fascinating. It's kind of funny because the only sandwich ghost story I have actually is from my partner. While she was visiting, there's a small town in Arizona named Jerome that is a former mining town that is now an artist colony. And at the top of the hill, they have this restaurant called the Haunted Hamburger. And she was there with her brother, and she had asked if she could have a tomato off of his hamburger. And he said no, so she went out to go get her own tomato and condiments, because they have kind of like an open buffet type thing for vegetables and stuff. And when she came back, he accused her of eating half of the tomato on the hamburger because apparently between the time that it had gotten put on the plate and they looked at the tomato, she wanted to take it, he had put the bun back on, and then when he went to look at it again, there was a bite out of it, which no one's been able to understand or explain.
Hey.
It's the funniest and strangest thing.
Ghost loves tomatoes.
So,
I've heard that. Yeah. Well, tomatoes are part of the nightshade family.
That is true. Exactly.
oh,
There's a
yeah,
tie.
whole
There's a
nother
tie.
topic there. That's
So I did look it up, and this says there's 6 places in the world named Sandwich. 3 are in America, 2 are in the United Kingdom, and 1 is in Canada.
that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have thought there was more in America. I could have
Yeah.
sworn I had more people writing in saying, "Oh, there's a city one."
I feel like there's probably like a lot more that maybe it's not the city's name, maybe it's like a township or something.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's not more in Australia or New Zealand also, or other Commonwealth countries
Yeah.
besides Canada.
Yeah, you're right. There it is. There's a top 5 towns named Sandwich. I just googled it. That's hilarious.
Can you imagine being the Sandwich Fire Department?
No.
Sandwich Medical?
It would be.
How is there not like a sandwich shop?
I hope there is.
Yeah.
Or maybe these towns specifically are like, no, we're not having any of it. There cannot be any sandwich shops in this town.
Yeah, we're tired of
Not having it.
I know, but you can have things like
in Canada, it's Old Sandwich.
Sandwich Department of Revenue. You know, like
Exactly. Sandwich Parks and Rec.
I love the idea of anybody in this town, hopefully they don't have to call 911, but if they do, they're just like, what's your sandwich emergency?
Well, in Canada, the town is called Old Sandwich with an E.
Oh, ye old sandwich.
Old Sandwich.
that sounds like a Renaissance fair, like food stall. Welcome to
Exactly.
ye oldie sandwich. Gosh.
Ye Old Sandwich and turkey leg.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it makes sense that the turkey leg thing would be a thing out there. And California's got great Renaissance fairs, from what I understand.
I don't go to them, but I understand that they are quite good out here. But I don't know, to be honest with you.
No, that's entirely fair.
I'm sure you are probably pretty busy between your day job and making sandwiches.
Well, and you've got multiple culinary channels going. You've got the chips, you have the sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
If there was any other area that you had the time to devote to exploring, related to food that you would want to present to people, what do you think it would be?
Other than the modern sandwiches.
Other than
we
the
already
modern
mentioned.
sandwiches, yeah.
That's a good question. Because I'm already, I've got a Barry Cooks type of thing where I just try recipes and then, I don't know. I love pizza.
That's fair.
I actually got really deep into that the other day of the different types of pizza in each place, and there's some really weird ones.
Yeah, there are, for sure, and I would like to try some of those.
Well, you had a craft beer thing going for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I still have craft beer berry. And,
Yeah.
Usually, like on the weekend, I'll have 1 or 2 over Saturday and Sunday, and I'll post those. But that one's always been just sort of like, hey, here's a picture of the beer, here's the description of the beer. So it's not really.
What's your
super
favorite
active.
beer? What's your favorite beer for a sandwich thus far?
Favorite beer for a sandwich? Well, I guess it depends on the ingredients of the sandwich. I know that's not a satisfying answer, but
No, that's probably the right answer though. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sorry for putting on the spot there.
That's
yeah,
like
no, that's okay. I
third
mean,
one.
my go-to is a West Coast IPA in general.
Mhm.
But some sandwiches are going to call for a lager, some are going to call for porter or stout.
Mhm.
So it really does depend.
Do you like sours or anything like that?
I'm not a sour fan. That's
Yeah.
food or beers. For some reason that just doesn't work on my palate. Same with truffle. Anything truffle is just awful to
really?
me. But I recognize that I have a lot of friends and folks that I completely trust that their taste is good and they love it. So it just doesn't work for my palate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so our radio station is actually hosted out of a brewery, and they do what they call Midwestern fruit tarts, but they're more like sours, or I still
Right.
don't know whether it's pronounced goza or goza.
Those?
Yeah, I just avoid saying it usually. That's one of those that I'm like, nobody has given me a clear answer on how it's supposed to be said, so I just avoid saying it.
There you go. You just spell it out.
Yeah. Of course.
Make sure you include the umlaut.
You know, I just chose to say it on the radio, so there's that. I don't know how to say that word.
I admire the styles, and I own a small piece of a craft brewery out here in San Jose.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so they do sours and things like that. And I'll try them from time to time, because one thing I've learned as I've gotten older is that my palate changes.
Yes.
Or has changed. And what I used to hate actually tastes pretty good. So I keep trying stuff that I typically don't like beets or sours.
I keep doing that with beets too, and I still don't like them.
Yeah, I'm still not on the beet train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think beets are in some ways an acquired taste too.
Yeah.
Just 'cause repeated exposure.
I've tried so hard, and I don't like them.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I've had ones they're kind of golden and they're roasted and they're a little sweeter.
Yeah.
But the ones that are red just taste like dirt. Like I don't want to eat dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been into beets. Do you have if you were going to give a couple pieces of advice for our listeners about making the perfect sandwich? What would you guide us with? What would your advice be for making the best sandwich possible with the ingredients that you have?
Mustard on meat always. If those are in the sandwich, you do want to the best you can, create some sort of moisture barrier. So mustard or mayo or butter. A lot of the recipes that I do call for buttering bread, and it acts as a moisture barrier to keep the sandwich from falling apart. But that kind of fell out of favor in the 60s or 70s. And then just, always think about, like when I think about this plussing up the sandwiches, I think about texture. I think about, are there other cuisines that can borrow from to create something that's an interesting combination that wouldn't be expected? Is there complementary flavors that could be used to enhance the sandwich? So I just try to think in terms of that when I'm building a sandwich.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's phenomenal advice. I mean, certainly it's not something that I would have intuitively guessed.
Yeah.
I mean, with all this wealth of sandwich knowledge, if you wouldn't mind, tell our listeners all the places that we can find you online. I know that you have Sandwiches of History, but what are your other channels?
Well, let's see. Sandwiches of History on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. In the Chips with Barry on those same channels, on the same platforms. And then Ice Cream O'Clock and Barry Cooks TikTok on TikTok. Barry's Ice Cream O'Clock and Barry's Cooking Again on Instagram, as well as Craft Beer Barry on Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah. So definitely we'll be making sure to follow all of those accounts because this has been
quality, very quality content. Like honestly, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I read that you do savory ice cream, which is way out of the scope of this conversation, but I am fascinated by that. Like, I didn't even know that savory ice cream was that big of a thing, but there's apparently a whole world there that I have to learn about.
Well, when you think about it, like fries and ice cream, it goes perfect together.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
One of the things I loved growing up was salty French fries from Wendy's and a chocolate frosty.
Yep.
Wendy's.
So perfect.
My partner loves that. She's all about the French fries and the frosty.
But yeah, on Ice Cream O'Clock, that's one of the things I do is I try to kind of cross sweet and savory. So I did one of my favorite ones was the Thanksgiving stuffing ice cream, where I took the flavors of Thanksgiving stuffing and made a butter ice cream.
That could be really good. Yeah.
It was really good. And I just made, yesterday I'm going to churn today, jalapeno popper ice cream.
That also sounds really good, actually.
Yeah. So
do you make all those ice creams yourself? Do you have an ice cream maker or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a machine that churns and chills, and then I hobble together different, like I look at a base recipe for an ice cream and then modify it and then maybe add in, like, so for the jalapeno popper, I did a cream cheese ice cream, but most cream cheese ice creams are designed to be like a cheesecake. So I took out the vanilla, I took out the lemon, and then I added in jalapeno, bacon, and cheddar cheese powder.
The cheddar cheese powder could be weird, but I think with everything else that would work out.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like that it might actually be
yeah,
good though with the cheese powder. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's all dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing the results on your
Yeah.
on your page, because that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, and I think we have to go make a strange talk sandwich now, honestly.
Yeah. We're gonna have to come up with some weird recipe to send you, and maybe
you should
do a
totally do
Facebook
that.
Live of us trying it or something.
I have a friend who he and his buddy write basically young adults kind of like graphic novels, comic novels, and games and stuff. And he tasked me with coming up with a sandwich for it, and I did that a while back, and it was pretty funny. It was waffles, frozen waffles that you toast, slather in peanut butter, smoked duck breast, and cherry pop rocks. And it was actually really good.
That actually, as weird as it sounds, actually sounds like it might be good.
That actually definitely gives me some ideas to make a strange talk sandwich.
You need to make a strange talk sandwich. I beg you to make a strange talk sandwich.
I absolutely will, and I will let you know. That's gonna take some experimentation, I think, to get that right.
we're gonna have to compromise, because Alex is a vegetarian and I am not, so we're gonna have to.
we can have two versions. It's fine.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you could have like a vegetarian version and one with a complementary meat.
Yeah, I've gotten really good at replacing meat with meat-like things, which sounds so gross, but
that is, you know what, that is actually one of the things that I'm fascinated with, is learning how to swap out meat, how to replace meat in recipes and stuff. So I did a Nashville hot mushroom sandwich.
Ooh, yeah.
Done a Nashville hot smoked cauliflower.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, and then doing stuff with different. I don't want to say chemicals, because it's not chemicals. What is it? Like vital wheat gluten and things like that to make
different components like that, soy and tofu, and
we
have so many more options than we used to.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it used to be if you're a vegetarian, good luck, you're eating mashed potatoes, and that's basically it. Yeah. My significant other is vegetarian and was vegan, and one year she came for Christmas, and my mom, who was absolutely not a good cook in any way, shape, or form, served rice and corn separately. Oh no!
And it was cold.
Oh.
So, yeah, that generation did not get vegetarianism.
No, and I think that's why we have so many better options now.
Yeah, I mean, even in the last 5 years, we've had the proliferation of impossible foods. You have the chicken nuggets now that you can buy that are vegetarian.
Really good.
You have hamburgers that bleed that are vegetarian.
We're getting really close to having lab-grown meat, which that will take away a lot of people's ethical concerns about eating meat.
Now, would you eat that?
I'd try it. I would definitely try it.
Yeah, I'd try it. At least to see what it's like.
That kind of goes into one of my things of just if it's a weird enough thing, I gotta try it at least once. So.
All right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for talking with us about sandwiches.
Thank you. We know that you are a very, very busy person, and we appreciate taking the time to talk to us and do the show.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You're welcome on absolutely anytime you have anything fun, weird, and sandwich to talk about.
Yep, and maybe we'll have to have you on in a different season to talk about that savory ice cream, because I feel like there's a whole lot there that's
yeah,
interesting.
I'd be happy to talk about that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if I find any fun, weird chips, I'll make sure I send them your way as well.
And we will keep you updated on the Strange Talk sandwich. Don't be surprised if you get a message and we tag you and somebody's like, "Here we go, it's the Strange Talk sandwich."
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And if you want any advice, hit me up.
I absolutely will. Yeah, thank you so much.
We may send you a list of ingredients for these are what we've agreed that we're willing to do. What do you think?
That sounds good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much. Good luck, making and shooting the rest of your sandwiches today.
Thank you so much, Barry.
I hope it goes well, and we'll let you get back to sandwiching.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
As usual, I'm your host, Robin.
And I'm Alex. And we're signing off here at Strange Talk. Good night and good luck.
Night and good luck.